Hello everyone, Tech Stack here. Let's go ahead and connect to tester, make sure it is up. Another night of testing, hopefully. Changed the config slightly. Took the research for and the cost of the watchtowers and increased it by a good amount. I wouldn't say it's too much, because looking at the numbers, they seem big. But looking at my spreadsheet where I'm calculating how many of them you can make in a certain amount of time, I've only reduced it a little bit. So I'm hoping that this change is enough, especially considering that you basically would also need to be producing troops at the same time. So hopefully we get some testers in here. If not, we can try and look through the code and see if we get some way of determining who the winner is. So the original way I was testing who the winner was, I was basically calculating who the losers were and then seeing if there's only one person who's not a loser. The problem with that is that means when one person is placed down their town hall, they're the only person that hasn't lost, right? So that's an issue. There might need to be some type of structure set up where each team keeps track of whether or not it's playing, whether or not it's won, or whether or not it's lost, right? And we look at the playing. If there's multiples playing, we're good. If there's only one playing, we're done, right? We're game over. I don't know. There's only one playing, they become the winner the next time through. It's I haven't thought of a good way to do it, I guess, so I'm saying. That's why I'm stuck on it, so I haven't implemented it yet. Gazer, I see you're in Discord. Are you going to join me? Play the beast with me? I see you, Gazer. Down to play test. Yeah, let's just look at the code. I gotta figure this out. I gotta just do it is the issue instead of thinking about it. Let's see. So let's set up this array that we're talking about. It's going to be a private static int. Okay, people are saying that they might be able to join later. Pooling. Now let's create this as its own structure. We're going to create an enum as well. So let's create the enum first, I guess. Private enum team state. No, this is Java, man. And hi, Blue. So team state will be well, not out. Oh, it's not playing. Playing. So not playing, playing. Lost, winner. I don't know we'll ever get to winner, but we're gonna leave it like that. Okay, so CZ says it'll be here in 5 minutes. That might actually give me enough time to write the code for this. Maybe. So now we need an array of team state. Why is it not? Duplicate modifier for the type team state. Oh, okay, so that's okay. The team state. And this is going to be an array. Just call it team state. we need to initialize this, so if team state's null, I guess, is the quickest way of doing that. If team state null, then team state equals new team. Hey, Gazer. I knew I could entice you in here.
Nay. Nay.
Team enum dot values dot length. Are you in the game? I wasn't paying attention. No.
In what game?
The test server.
Cool. There's a game going on, is it?
Trying to get one put together.
Okay. I have ulterior plans. I was just popping in, but I could.
That's fine.
If... Oh.
There. I've already gave you an out. I already told CZ.
Cool.
Okay, so there we go. So that'll give us 1 for each one of these. And then we need to have another piece here. Are you checking whether team state is null every tick? It will, yes. Because I need to do it on startup, basically. At least for now. It's not going to be a big overhead.
Wave survival.
Can you see it in the code? 4.
It's kind of bold.
I equals, yeah, sure. Int I equals 0 through I less than team enum dot values dot does that bother you, Blue? You're talking less than a millisecond, man. I equals a lot. So there are pieces of me that I agree with you, but having been in IT as long as I have, there are pieces of me that understand at this point that it's very often where it's easier just to write it the way that's slightly inefficient and either A, deal with it later if it becomes an issue, or B, not worry about it because it's really not as big of an issue as you think. I can move this to other pieces of code, yes, but then I have to make it public and blah, 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 blah. Doing it here is simplistic. So it's only null for that first pass. So we're setting it to not playing by default, just so every team gets a default value. I guess I could do it that way too, now that I think about it. This will make you feel better. I think this works. I don't do it very often in Java. I think you can do this. Right, where it initializes it up front. Bingo. Now, what I don't like about that is that assumes that forever and a day there's only 4 teams. Right? So now we can take team state, assume it's valid for each of these teams. And when they place the town hall down, we can say playing. Team state I equals team state playing. So as soon as you place down a team town hall, you are playing officially. Right? Right, but this class doesn't get instantiated. I think I see what you're saying. Call it from somewhere else in the code. Yeah, I could do that. But what I just did will work too. Right now, I'm worried more about how is the logic of this going to work. So if I just say that this team's playing and all the other teams are not playing, the first team coming through is going to be picked up as the only team playing, and it's going to win again. So doing this doesn't work. Okay. If it is not equal not playing, if it's not playing, then we can do something. Hello?
Hello.
You actually gonna play a game?
Maybe.
Alright. I'll take that as a yes.
Need to get the build.
I know you can't see it, CZ, but you'd be much happier with the log file, I think, because it doesn't spam itself now. Even before the game started, it just sits there and doesn't do anything.
Good. I'm going from build 81 to 92. 10 builds in between when I last played.
Yeah, tech's been on fire.
Well, and I've been just MIA, so
Yeah,
doesn't
but
help.
I was on build 85 yesterday. I don't know.
Just because I'm making builds doesn't mean there's a lot of changes.
I know.
Doesn't mean they're good either. Like the one change, it made when first person put the town hall down, they won. And it killed everybody else and put everybody in spectator, restarted the server.
Yeah, I did see that. But anyway.
The good news about that test was I can start the server or restart the server automatically once I figure out how to figure out the real winner of a game. The utilities. Get team. Oh, that's not what I want either. I need to know if a team has players on it. Okay, so let's see if we got a method for that yet. We don't. But we can get the player count. Cool.
Well, they're just vanilla teams, right? Vanilla has a thing that will tell you what's on the team. I don't know what it looks like in Forge, but
I've already built a thing that does that though too.
okay.
And I'm updating it wherever I need to update it. And I would be looking at the teams in Forge to do it. So this is just a common place for all my code to use. Okay, so if the team player count, if it is, and let me know when you're on the server, CZ, we'll go ahead and do a match. I can stop this whenever. Is greater than 0, then that team is playing. Oops. There we go. And then don't need to worry about them placing down town hall anymore. And we know when the team is out because they have no town halls left after they've placed a town hall. So we've already sorted that piece out. So we can say lost. And that should be all I need to do. Because in here, so int teams playing will be that. Int teams lost.
I'm booting up Minecraft now.
Okay. For int j 0, j is less than dot length j plus plus. And we can say if team state dot lost teams lost equals no, just plus, just add one to it. Okay. So there. So then I can make sure that there is a team that's lost and a team that only one team playing. What the heck just happened? Did you kick me?
No.
Sure you did. That's why I had a smiley face there message.
I was hoping that you wouldn't have it open so you would go back to it and then see that you were kicked.
I seen you connected in the background.
So what do I need to know before I start? Because it's been a week since I've played.
Costs changed all over the place, including some units. Balance changed all over the place, mostly around the Lancers and Pikemen. If you haven't...
So Pikemen and Lancers are still viable units now? Theoretically?
Potentially. They've been adjusted. I can't say for sure that it's the right amount of adjustment.
Okay, but their Lancers are not as bad as they used to be last time that I rushed Lancers and invested everything.
Let me be more specific. Lancers are buffed, unconfirmed if that worked or not.
Okay.
Pikemen are nerfed. Pikemen should be more expensive. I can't remember if I lowered the cost of Lancers or not, but I might have. Building cost all over the place changed. Almost all buildings are changed except for the resource generating buildings, so that the early game kind of stays quick, right?
Research, I should probably buy more than one research center if I want research in a timely manner.
Yes, and the research center is more costly, so if you lose one, there's impact.
But like, are the research, the work requirements and the research work rates, like, are those still the same as they were?
They're all 100 still. They still all
Because
require
I know,
100.
like,
Yeah.
before, if you wanted to knock out a bunch of research, you needed like 8 research centers. That's still pretty much the case.
Yeah, nothing's changed there in regards to how long it'll take.
Okay.
Not saying that it won't, but it hasn't yet. And I think not everything should have the same amount of research required. That's my biggest thing I think we need to change. Some things should need less. Some things should stay where they're at. Do you know there's a hold command for archers?
I saw you using it on stream. I can't remember what you said to do for it.
So archers only. You can have other units in your selection for it. You can shift with the retreat wand while clicking on the ground. They will go to that position in formation and hold that formation no matter what enemy comes at them. They will
Shift with the retreat wand.
Yes, shift right click. Are you ready to go?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I ran away. You can run away and then hit ready whenever you're good.
Okay. You cannot buy anything until you've placed down your town hall.
So have you made any adjustments since last night?
Since last night,
um,
the watchtowers are more
since-
expensive.
Yeah. After that game.
Here we go.
Watchtowers still lag if you place a lot of them?
No. I honestly think they weren't lagging before, but I think what happened was the troops got inside them and got stuck, and when you were trying to command them away, they couldn't go there, because that was a massive source of lag. When we fixed that lag, the watchtower is no longer lagged. You'll probably be happy to see that the population cap icon is no longer my ugly art.
I actually like the little
Sure you did.
little steep thing. I thought it was hilarious.
Looked like a 2-year-old made it, and I know it. Because I did make it. The class gets instantiated as soon as it gets accessed. Oh. Oh yeah, that's true. I could do it that way. But I've also got it set up on the variable, so it's going to get one right off the bat. I forgot about the static thing.
Tutorial. It's a very long game last night.
Oh, yes. All because of the watchtowers.
Yeah, exactly. How much have you increased them by? Ish.
You liked that it was a long game, you're saying?
Oh, it was just a long game. I was only noting that. I hadn't seen one like that for a while.
Yeah. And some of it is the play style of the people going in the game too, right? So
Yeah.
no offense
Like,
to him, but he
also
wasn't pushing
you-
against me, and had he several
Yeah.
times, he would have won.
That and I think at the very start you had some troops and you didn't push against him. Straight
Yeah.
away you held back and waited. So yeah.
I was trying to be
it was the
sportsman
style
when
of
I
game, yeah.
seen his base was right on the edge there. So it
But
could
then
have
as
been
soon as
ended
you
sooner.
stopped, he built up way more units than you.
And then I had to build up units, and then he seen my units and started placing watchtowers.
For
Wow,
the
that
graph-
research center is expensive.
You're
the
already
graph
placing
of,
them
like,
down?
No, I'm not. I looked at it and I was like, goodness, I'm definitely not placing that down already.
But it'll have an impact if
Where's
you lose
the
it,
freaking
right?
gold?
I know. I love and
I
hate this
don't-
map, Gazer.
Alright, well what do you want?
I
A
just
big
need to know
freaking
where the
flag
gold
over it
is.
that says where each of the nodes are so I can run right to it.
Yeah,
Just
well,
like-
make a map. Jesus.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
know. Yeah. Well, it's not just that. It's like I don't know which
Make
one
a
I'm in
map.
every time I go. I'm completely confused as soon as I spawn in which map I'm in, like which quadrant.
It's symmetrical along the x-axis. If you thought of it like a graph.
Yes, if I looked at the axes when playing Minecraft, which I usually don't.
Yeah, well, yeah, and you don't know which quadrant you're in, so yeah,
Yeah.
you're doomed really.
Yep.
So the only way is to make a flag or I don't know, not give a damn.
Or just to wander around aimlessly until you find the gold. That's what I usually do.
Just grab all the damn all the damn resources.
Reaper, every time you change your name, man, I'm like, who's that?
I changed his name the other night to Little Zach.
I thought you were the other guy coming in here, so I just glanced and seen the O. The O guy.
$650 lumber for that. Jeez. And the barracks is pretty expensive now too.
You wanted it more expensive, right?
I know it's good. It's forcing me to build a barracks like as soon as I possibly can because I'm gonna have to defend against you. You can't just like rush straight into more advanced units, which is good. It's different than how we used to be able to play this game.
Yep. Embrace the change.
No, it's good. It's good. Where is the iron node now?
I don't like change. I like the original.
exact change only for you?
No, I don't like Penny.
Well, what you complaining about?
They're always space.
Just have to stop listening to him and it's all fine.
So why'd you switch from Twitch to YouTube, by the way? Just I had a larger subscriber base on YouTube that seemed to watch more regularly when I was on here. So my audience was here from the years of YouTube that I've done. Even though most of them aren't watching anymore, it's other people that watch, which is all good. Like, people can come and go as they want. And hello, Andrew. Oh, that was a bad placement.
I bought one extra mine.
Extra mine?
Yeah. I can't fit
You
it.
can use it elsewhere.
Oh.
You're fine.
Mines are cheap. I usually have an extra one in my inventory most of the time. Okay. Oh, food is actually a thing for me in this. Not that I'm complaining, it's just... I feel like I've put down 20 of them already. Okay. I need to be faster. You had me worried because you were saying, I need to do this because I know that you're going to come at me. And I'm like, I'm not even close to putting one down. When you're saying that, I'm like, oh crap, he's going to come at me with 30 guys.
In war, you wouldn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Cheating.
I didn't do react any different because I wasn't ready to put one down.
I'm just messing.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Gosh, research centers are so expensive. I still don't have one.
At least you're not like
I would
me.
have had like 4 in the previous games.
At least you're not like me where you've clicked on the research and paid for the research, but you can't start researching it yet because you don't have research center.
Oh, that really sucks.
But now I know exactly how much I need to get to start it. So CZ, when I first started doing this, I knew Gazer was an RTS fan. I knew Fire was an RTS fan. But I did not pick you for being an RTS fan.
I'm not a huge RTS fan, but I do like strategy. Like, I really like strategy board games.
Okay.
But I never got into the strategy computer games. So I
Gotcha.
played Pharaoh, and I played Age of Empires, but I never like seriously played Age of Empires. Age of Empires 2.
Gotcha. So I don't know what Pharaoh is. I've never heard of that one.
It's just some like little Egyptian game.
Okay. Could have guessed that. Andrew, yes, the walls are there to basically divide each team up so that you can have your own somewhat protected area and forms a choke point. That's just this map, though. So each map is different. Blue is telling us that Age of Empires is lame and play Warrior Kings. He keeps telling me about Warrior Kings. I haven't checked it out yet.
Age of Empires is not lame.
I would agree with that. Especially 2.
Quack.
I've been really into watching Age of Empires 2 gameplay on YouTube lately. Helped me remember how it worked and how we should do some things in this, or how we shouldn't do some things. I know. I'll check it out eventually.
Testing out my new mic. Can you hear me?
Barely. You're pretty quiet. Yeah, Andrew, it's kind of close to Command and Conquer. I mean, Command and Conquer is an RTS game. I personally didn't play much Command and Conquer games, so
Oh, I did.
how close are we to that then, Gazer?
Hmm?
How close are we to a Command and Conquer style?
Well, you can place buildings at. I'm gonna say no. It is restricted to around your command center and other buildings in general.
Oh, so
And
the
you have to link them together.
area of influence thing we're talking about maybe doing.
Area of influence, yeah.
Okay.
That's gonna, and yeah, it's definitely not medieval at all.
Oh, true. That is a big difference.
But other than that, yeah, it's got power and resource requirements. Although it only normally has one resource requirement, which is well, it depends on different types of command and conquer, different resources.
So he's asking, like, games where you have a neutral areas and a home base, and you move your units to neutral areas and take over the entire map. Yes, the goal is to take over the entire map. So we have a town hall building that we place down, and you're trying to get out or destroy your enemy's town hall, basically, with your troops. There are my troops.
What? You have troops?
You were saying you had troops?
What? No.
What?
He's
Oh,
getting
right.
ready for troops.
Attack, boys! Attack! He has no troops! Gotta love that intel.
No, you did.
Hi,
give him
CZ.
the
Oh, he
original
does
info,
have troops! He
and
lies!
he did just.
He lies! I figured it was a
Retaliation.
ploy. I figured it was a ploy like that.
But you needed to find out eventually.
You turned around. Like, I really don't have that many troops.
You have enough. You have some. I was expecting none, because I was told none.
Sacrificial wave.
Oh boy.
Run.
I hope you're talking about something that you would do like in a parade if you're the homecoming queen. I see puffs of death over there.
Just watch.
I
your
haven't
unit
lost.
go.
Okay, there I go. I lost some units.
That's not good. You had so many that my guys weren't even killing any of them.
No, I lost. I lost quite a few. I'm just still producing them. So
Yes, Andrew. So we would like to have a minimap, but it's more difficult than I would like it to be. Probably because I just haven't tried it that often. I think things are hard, and then I try them and I figure out how to do it. Fog of War in Minecraft is going to be a little bit hard to do, because the player can always see, right? The thing that you can't do, though, is
just your range.
render range. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You still can't see too far away. Like, those guys are popping in as I get close to them, and if I walk
Yeah,
away, you can't see anything.
That's what you do.
Oh, I don't know if I'm going
On
to
a
do
map,
that.
though.
We could do something like blindness effect in Minecraft, if we really wanted to, but it's pretty extreme. Fog
I
of War,
don't think
though.
you can limit the range either on blindness. I think it's just set.
Yeah. Now, if I were to do a mini-map, it makes sense to have Fog of War, because then we could say your troops are sending back reports of where enemy movement is within your area.
But this, honestly, the just what's built into Minecraft works really well. I think.
What we have here, you mean? Or the mini-map?
Yeah. No, the just playing in Minecraft. The only thing where we really need more is with finding resource locations.
What do you mean?
Finding where the resource nodes are,
Or like somebody's built on them? Or like the gold
or
thing? we're
you
talking about?
trying to build them.
Gotcha.
Could have like a floating gold block just above in the air, maybe a couple of blocks.
Tall enough
That
above it
just stays
that
there.
it stays out of the way of the mine site.
Yeah. Still be
Well, that's a lot of barracks.
Well, somebody kind of freaked me out, and I need to get a bunch of troops really quick, okay? This is an arms war. I love it. It's an arms race.
Oh, no. Can you hear me now?
Oh, that's a lot of troops.
Kinda. Oh boy. Release the horde. I love the sound of this many things punching each other. It's cool. It's like.
Yeah. I've definitely said that before, the pit pattering and whatnot.
Oh, and they go back into formation. Some of them. I guess
Oh,
these
you took
guys
my
are.
whole force out.
My thoughts.
Yeah, some of them
on that
weren't
is like,
in-
what if someone
In
is
the formation.
attacking a base that you are not at because you're controlling other NPCs? So what could you use for difference? Okay, yeah. So there, once a building is defeated, we get a toast notification that pops up over here in a chat message that says that you've lost the building, basically. As far as command and control groups, you can select them all around you like I am right now, or once you have a group of units selected, we can have the Control Z through question mark at the bottom row of your keyboard that acts like Control 1 through 9 on most RTSs. It's just we couldn't use 1 through 9 because it's your hotbar on Minecraft, right? So we've got it. It's there. And then to recall that group, you just hit the Z or whatever without the control button. Okay. Don't make me regret this, boys.
This is the first game that I've ever needed stone. I don't know where to go. It's like everywhere at the beginning, but
It's a good thing, right?
no, yeah, it's good. And I'm playing a little bit different than I've played in the past, so
Oh.
that helps, or it hurts.
So you probably can't see it very well, Andrew, but the whole control group thing is over on my left side of the screen where the Discord thing. Actually, my Discord thing's turned off. Never mind, you can't see it. It's all there. Left side of the screen is where your control groups show up and how many are in that group. We've got rally points where you can tell this barracks, I want your troops to come out and walk to this location. We've got setting mass numbers of rally points by holding shift. So all the troops are going to start coming to that spot I just clicked on when they spawn in, after the ones that are already spawned in are in. All this stuff. We've got unit queues so that it will produce troops for you automatically without you having to go in and tell it to rebuy them. So you can set up an infinite production queue. I think we're close to release. The initial release. Now, that's not to say that that'll be the final set of features that will be in the game. But the initial release should be soon. Like, I wouldn't even say we need another month of testing. I would say we need maybe another week of testing. Or 2, depending how much
Units
testing.
are a lot. Or no, sorry, I was looking at the building cost. Units still look like they're pretty much the same, right?
Unit cost really hasn't changed much, except for some of the OP ones. Made them a little bit more expensive to help offset them. Because I like the fact that you can have a large army in this game. I don't want to take that away from people. Is there a way to tell them to defend a base? So these guys here, when something comes within their aggro range, they'll automatically walk out and kill it. The archers, though, being a ranged unit, you can give them, with this retreat wand, a special command by holding shift. They will go there, stand in formation, and hold their ground. They will not advance on enemies that come at them. Which is good for an archer unit because they will defend a hill, basically, right?
Why do you have archers already?
Research? Gotta win somehow.
This might be it.
You're attacking me. Why are you saying this is it?
You were standing on the hill. I'm saying if you have archers and you had that many archers, this might be it for me. I might have already lost.
I've just started making archers, though. Archers on hills in the hold position is the only reason I kept my ground as long as I did yesterday.
Yeah, and you didn't. Well,
Like,
it was kind of a stalemate
Yeah.
towards the end, wasn't it? Because he had the watchtowers, you had the archers on the hill.
Yep. Destroy him.
Such a shame. I
They-
was watching that game.
Yeah, I know. I had to let him win at the end, just so that we could end it.
Yeah.
It's gonna go on forever. So blue wants me to destroy you, CZ. I'm sorry. Gotta
I'm
appease
sorry.
the horde or whatever.
This guy.
I was playing a game against Zach and Fiery. And Fiery's like, don't attack me first. I'm like, okay, Zach, that means you're up. So I'd attack Zach for a while. And then Zach like, why are you doing this to me? I'm like, Fiery told me to. And he said, so all I have to do is tell you to attack Fiery? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I then go and attack Fiery for a while. I kept going back and forth based on what they'd say. I think one of them ended up winning too.
All right, let's go.
What's that? Uh-oh, uh-oh. Nope. Get out of my archer's face. See, the minions just behave like a meat shield for the archers when they're in hold
Yeah,
position.
gosh, they are a meat shield. You have so many units.
Not as many as I did before.
Oh, I don't have like any units really before. Woo! This ain't gonna work. I think I've lost.
So, Andrew, you can have a pretty big map. The bigger it is, the slower it takes, right? We have 4 teams, but there's no limit on how many players can be on a team, so you can team up together. 4 teams was just picked out of the air, 4 different colors, because each of the teams have different themed buildings, so it's already a lot to build. Why are some archers up there at all? Get back here, guys. Is he aggroing you? Is he making you upset?
Ah!
I can't tell if the Lancers are effective in this fight or not. I just
That's
can't tell.
mainly why I went for them, because if Lancers should destroy archers,
They should.
they have no knockback, right?
No
They're
knockback.
completely immune.
Completely immune to it. And, what do you call it? Pikemen are no longer immune to knockback. They have some level of knockback.
Yeah, they should have a little bit of knockback resistance. I don't think they should have a whole lot.
Yeah. Initially, when we made them, they had full knockback resistance. That was a mistake. My troops are so spread out. I'm not happy with my position just right now. But I could be if I start doing this. Let's see. Get out of here! Get out of here! No! You can't have it. So G, Shift H. Did I tell you about Shift H or no?
Shift H?
Yeah, you select one unit, then do Shift H. It'll select all of that type for you.
Oh. Do we have a select within a radius that isn't like H? Because I would like to select within like 5 blocks or something.
Oh, a smaller range?
Yeah,
No, we
it would
do
help me
not.
split my forces easily.
That might be an easier key.
I think Shift H makes sense for select a smaller range. Maybe Control for a larger, Control
But
for an even
Shift
smaller.
H is one type. So you have one unit type selected. Whatever he is, you Shift H, and it selects only that unit type in your area. Rip. How are you producing so many of those guys? That's ridiculous. Wow. I shouldn't have split my troops. It's too soon. And we still won, maybe. That was pretty close, though.
Oh, that was really close.
It was worth it for you to attack. You got rid of a bunch of archers.
My boys! My boys!
Dang. The reinforcements, though. Yeah, they'll attack players. So they've got AI set up so they'll attack NPCs first. Then they'll attack buildings next. And then they'll attack players. So that's like the priority of them, if you will. What am I doing? Why am I
Don't
not?
like these units. So many arrows! I hate archers.
So they feel OP, but wait till like you get pikemen again. They can come wreck them.
I'm not getting pikemen, I'm just getting 600 lancers.
Yeah. Yeah, actually
600 lancers should be stronger than 600 pike. Well, 600 pikemen should beat 600 lancers, but 600 lancers should beat 600 archers.
Yes, but do you actually have 600?
No, I don't.
Okay, because I don't have anywhere near 600 either.
But what's the cost of them? The lancers are more expensive than the pikemen. They don't cost as much gold.
Yeah, it's different. It's just different what they cost. And I think that's a good thing.
At one point I had it worked out for like what the total cost of each one of them was.
Yeah, it's in spreadsheet still. I didn't tweak that. I just calculate it.
I couldn't tell if I had my horses selected because they don't have the green outline. There we go.
It almost feels like the...
You have so many units!
Really? You're talking about 600 over here, and I don't have...
I don't have 600. I have less than 100.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have so many units.
Yeah, you're gonna win all of this.
Not if you
Yeah,
take out my
that's funny.
archers.
That's why I'm taking out your archers. I have to take out your archers. Wait, are we gentlemen's rule not taking a secondary quad?
No. That's always
Take a
open.
secondary quad if it's available? Okay.
Yeah, take it, because I already did.
Okay, well that's why.
Okay, I thought I just had more building production than you. Like, more producing
Well,
buildings.
you do have more production than me because you took a second quad.
So you're limited by resources too, you're saying?
Yeah, I've been limited by resources the whole game because I've just been playing
Gotcha.
in my quad. I didn't think to ask.
Okay.
That's my bad.
I will back off then. That's not fair.
Well, it's fair. You played within the rules of the game. I just did not play efficiently. Go ahead.
Okay.
I do want to see how well the archers actually do against the lancers. Dude, like I haven't been watching because I've been running back and forth. Are the lancers winning?
They've done better than some of the battles I was doing the other day. I'll say that. But I'm not sure if that was just because he was holding back. And like 1-on-1, or 1-on-5, the archers are still gonna win, right? They need to be somewhat even in their numbers. Oh, I've got the extra quad, Andrew. That's what I was doing over there. See, and right now, this is where I'm somewhat hung up about the whole area of influence type thing. Because right now, it'd be really beneficial for me to start building barracks, like forward barracks. And if I had to build them over this middle zone, I probably couldn't do it.
Gosh, the minions are so hard to hit.
Yeah, like placing in one of the other quadrants.
Yeah, that's true. You'd have to like string a thing all the way over there and give away that you're doing that.
That and some maps won't allow that.
So maybe it's more of an area of influence that protects your area.
That's why I only think it should be around the town hall. That.
But like a thing, what I'm saying is like a thing that doesn't let you place
I
within
see.
so many blocks of an enemy building.
Yeah, so like what you're doing with the wall.
Almost like a reverse area of effect.
Yeah, so you didn't want any stairs near the walls, so you
Yes, and I didn't do that, by the way.
that just on everything.
It hasn't been an issue so far. Nobody's done it.
No.
Oh no, this is it. This is the beginning of the end.
Actually, sounds quite fun to do that. Putting
Oh
stairs
gosh.
Doing the stair thing?
in. Yeah. It's probably not going to get the attacker anywhere anyway, really.
No, because I mean they go up it, but then what are you gonna do? You're on the wall.
Okay, how do I counter these archers now? Because you're destroying my unit production. I don't think I can. 'Cause
You need
I
to
can't.
fall back and build up masses of troops. And
I don't know if I can build up more stables though, which are the things that counter archers.
I don't know
Let's
that they counter archers as well as we want them to. They're supposed to, but they might need more health or something.
Archers counter archers. And watchtowers.
Pikemen.
I think archers should be like a one hit from the player, which they are not. They're like a crit hit and then an additional hit. That's
Yeah, their health. All the units' health are very close to each other.
yeah. I think archers have to be really squishy.
I think the weakest thing's 10 health, and then it's like 15 is the max or something. Like there's not a lot of variation.
Or maybe slow them down as well. I don't know.
They are slightly slower
Battlefield.
than a
Yeah.
minion even.
Very slightly.
Maybe
Anyway.
I just need to make the configs so that there's bigger differences in these guys, so it's more obvious what's what.
Maybe.
Yeah, and then. I had considered making the Lancer's health 20. Because if you're on a horse, you're tanky. What I'm... So, minions versus archers, I'm pretty happy with that setup, right? Enough minions could overwhelm archers, but archers are pretty powerful on their own. Most RTS's archers win, right? Archers versus Lancers. Lancers need to be stronger than what they are today, I think. Pikemen versus Lancers. It seems fine because Lancers win. Lancers versus... Not Lancers. Pikemen versus anything else, though? This seems wrong. Because, like, Pikemen always win. And maybe it's a matter of defining how many minion it should take to overwhelm an archer, defining how many archers it should take to overwhelm a minion, things like that, and do it for all of them, and then just tweak the configs until I get that.
I hate this.
Well, I'm now into your resource generation, so that's
I
going to hurt
know.
your
I
army even
can't.
more.
I can't do anything.
You always hate it when you lose in there.
Yeah, and
Good news is that you're mostly archers, which my horses should be able to take out.
I'm pretty good mix still. Like, I never stopped producing minions. You probably just killed them.
How many units do you have?
Well, 500 right now, but that's everywhere in the world.
Okay, yeah, I have 20, so you win.
There's 83 that I have selected right here with me.
There's no way I can come back from this.
So, does it...
There were so many archers that lancers just couldn't do anything. Because I went lancers as soon as I could. I would have had to do an equal number of archers. It kind of you're forced to follow that optimal tech tree, which is not a bad thing necessarily.
Yes, Andrew. It is a spear-like device. I forget what the actual name is of what I've made it look like, but it's not technically a spear.
It looks like a halberd.
Yeah.
It looks like a halberd, but it's supposed to be a pike, which is really just a spear. The research for them is called pole arms. I'm gonna go make a drink.
Okay. So I had 4 or 5, I'll say, archery ranges I made as soon as I got archery. That could be part of this too. I don't know how many stables we got, and I know he's not here right now.
But you were building resources. There you go.
Yeah, I haven't been resource constrained at all this game.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what you were saying, so I think that a pikeman could be able to take out archers. Agree, but they can take out everything, pretty much. They were just overpowered. Now, granted, our minion doesn't have a weapon. He's punching with his fist, right? So maybe he should be able to take out minions, but he can take out a ridiculous number of minions. That's been our problem, because he just was powerful in all sorts of ways. His attack was basically the same, but then he also had a weapon which gave him an attack bonus. So, you know, like when you hover over a weapon in Minecraft, it tells you what the attack bonus is. It was like 8 or 9 in it originally, so it was better than a diamond sword.
So instead of decreasing the health of archers, you should just increase the health of everything else, because then the arrow that they're firing
Has less impact.
yeah. Unless you can change that.
Sounds
Sounds like the health is something that we can easily change.
maybe, and I think that's probably more of an upgrade thing if we start tweaking the archers at all. Because CZ wanted to do something like a longbowman.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
There's the game.
Different. Yeah.
If we did a longbow, and you know, maybe it's a little bit further range, and also something like pierce enchantment on the bow or something, right? Or power enchantment, so it does more damage too.
Easy. He says.
Oh, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to stop the server. Hopefully CZ doesn't mind, but I want to take a look at the charts that we can do and see how well it looks.
I could possibly do one game.
What's this? Watching it got you enticed into it?
No. I just completed something that I wanted to do, so. Not
Okay.
everything, just I got through a hurdle, so.
So right there, that graph kind of tells the story. CZ being green and me being blue. CZ actually started producing troops first. Had a early advantage as far as troops, but we were pretty close. We were producing about the same rate. And then I'm guessing about here is where I got my archery research, and it just went whoop from there because I was producing from all my barracks and the archers at that point. And then the other piece, economically, through here is where I was continually I don't know why it takes off all of a sudden. One of these down dips must have been where I've been buying stuff. Yeah, I was buying like archery ranges or something in through there, or research centers or something. As you can tell, we're pretty even, and I take off about here, so that must have been where I was doing the second area. And then I did the research centers and research.
I'm back.
Hey, Susie. Looking at the charts,
I need to fix these charts.
there's a big population difference.
Yeah, look at the economic power there,
Mhm.
because you can see when you really started building up in the other quad, like, what is that?
I did that
825?
pretty early, actually. So it
Looks
was
like it's halfway through the game where you really started to accumulate.
Yeah, I think maybe a first quarter into the game is when I started building over there, and then that's me buying buildings where it goes back down.
Yeah, see, I was kind of just stuck once I capped out. Let's see, military. Yeah, look at the military.
So, Andrew, yes, we're basically trying to tweak things until it gets bounced. It's a challenge, but it's kind of fun because you get to play the game a lot.
Military. So you had. Where's your blue troops? Blue troops.
Had
Yeah,
mostly
look
minions.
at that. Oh my gosh, 200 minions, and then like you went up to 200 archers at the end. I assume you weren't attacking with those, but 150 archers that you were probably attacking with.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that last big drop down with minions is probably where I just did the big push and just went all in. Actually start taking buildings out. So, yeah.
Yeah, you have to go for the extra quad if you're playing with somebody that's also going to go for the extra quad.
Yeah, and if it's in a
And I
two-player match, just assume that
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
Because there's all that extra space. I assumed
didn't
you were
think
going
about
for it,
that.
is why I did it. Because I've had it happen to me.
it's the prisoner dilemma. So what I would like to see is how much does it take to nerf archers so that they're unusable, and then go up from there.
So they're
'Cause I don't-
unusable? Because other than when I added the hold position, they were pretty unusable, I thought. Once pikemen came into the game. If you would have sent pikemen at the archers, it probably would have wrecked them. Which isn't right, because that's not
yeah,
the
that's
thing.
not right.
Yeah.
It should be. So let's play a little test match. We'll not play for real. I'm just gonna
Okay.
play up and get cavalry, and you can play up and get archers. Let's both get like 100 units of each.
I mean,
And
I have
we can
100
figure out what
archers.
we want to do from there.
Just go creative then. And plop down, 50, whatever you need of town halls.
Quack.
It'll give you 5 resources per so. And Gazer did say he might have time for a match. So we can
We
do
can play
this
for
test.
real if Gazer wants to play. That's fine.
It'll take me about 2 minutes to download and do stuff, so I can do after you're done.
So spam those and spam research centers and you can get a decent amount of production down to get your stuff. Stop running into the building I'm placing. I'm just gonna instantly research this, I think. Once I buy it, I can afford it. I think my kids are having a World Wrestling Federation match upstairs. Sounds like my house is gonna fall apart. Okay, there's archers. Let's see. As soon as that finishes its research, good to go. Now the dog's in on it. So CZ, you're married, and it's fine if you don't want to talk about this on stream. So don't worry about it if you don't want to talk about it. But is your mother-in-law annoying?
No, I actually like my in-laws a lot.
Okay. My in-law wasn't too bad, but more recently she's been just like nosing into things since we moved down here and stuff. It's getting annoying. It's annoying my wife is the funniest part.
Yeah, my wife and I live halfway across the country from our family, so
So when you see 'em,
we don't
it's
get a whole lot of interaction with our family. So, which is nice because we also don't really both want a whole lot of interaction with our family.
Yep.
But it's nice because like every interaction at home it just feels good to be home.
Yep. You get the good side of it because it's a infrequent event. I get it. And that's kind of how it was originally when we moved down here, but I don't know. Lately she's been like, oh, you're not having a birthday party for your daughter? Which we were, it was just for kids though. But she's like, oh, I'll just come over. Okay, thanks for inviting yourself over. And then she started inviting other people over too. Like, why? Now we're throwing a party for adults for our daughter's birthday that even our daughter didn't want. So, yeah. My wife wasn't too happy about all that.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 research centers. Come on, cavalry, go.
I'm already spitting out archers. I got 18 of them.
Really? You're even faster than me in creative.
I do this all the time for testing them. Got any rally points not set? Nope, we're good.
And see, this is why I'm not a huge RTS player, because I don't like the really fast RTSs. I like really fast, twitchy games like Rocket League and shooters and stuff.
Hmm.
But when I want to do strategy, I want to like sit and really think about my strategy.
So you're more of a Civilization type strategy game.
I've never played Civilization. The only like strategy game that I actually got into was the browser game called Travian, and that one is a match that's played over like a quarter or maybe half a year. And you but there's no like unit command. It's just like creating units and positioning yourself and building civilization and teaming up with other people.
So more the city building
More
aspects.
more civ city building, less military tactics. That was more my style. So I think that would actually work pretty well in Minecraft as well.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even have to render units and stuff. But this is definitely a lot more fun. Like, this is a game night thing. That is like set up a server for it thing.
Yeah.
That's why CivCraft I really liked.
Mm-hmm. I think there could be some fun aspects of being able to build a different style of strategy game. More like what you're saying, where it's a long-term thing, where like almost like factions where you have power and stuff, but like the ground changes colors based on the team it's on and stuff like that. That way you can visually represent who owns what part of the world and stuff like that. This whole structure block thing really opens a lot of flexibility in Minecraft too, to add new stuff like that. Getting close to my unit count, 91, 94.
I'm at 30.
Okay, so do I put them on hold command or not?
How do you want them to be balanced?
I mean,
what should be the outcome of this? What should we find? And then let's just test it that way.
well, so you're having 100 Lancers, right? So the Lancers in theory should win, beating the counter to them. In equal numbers, Lancers should win. That's not going to happen, though. I have a strong feeling that's not going to happen.
Yeah, equal numbers. I think no matter what you do with archers, lancers should win. if I had fewer lancers, then I think there should be certain setups where your archers would win.
I'll say I think there's going to be some scenarios where they'll win. I don't want it to be either way a complete washout on one side. You know what I'm saying? So like Lancers can win, but there shouldn't be 90 Lancers left when you send them at 100 archers, right? It should be 25, 50 at best, right? That way there's still some losses for doing an attack, but you come out victorious. Okay. YouTube comments. I tell you.
How do you deselect? Nothing in your hand and shift right click?
To deselect?
Yeah.
G. Goodbye.
No. Just one. I had 101 selected.
Oh yeah. Shift right click on the guy.
Shift right click with an open hand.
Or an item. Doesn't matter.
Or an item?
Just don't do your sword because I think it'll... Oh no, the sword works. There's something we were doing that was killing them. I can't remember what. It was a potion or something.
Okay. I have 100 Lancers.
Okay, I've got this. I'm actually going to set them on hold position. So if you're saying no matter what I do, those guys should win, this is what I would do. I think the archers are strongest like this with one exception. And that's when the troops actually get to the archers, they're then weaker in this position, this command. Because they're taking damage and not retreating away. Their default situation is to retreat away from an enemy, but that means they're all spread out and not concentrating fire. When you put them in this hold position, they're concentrating their fire against whatever's coming at them. And in most cases, that knockback effect keeps the enemy away with this many of them. It's a constant knockback. So with these guys...
The strongest thing about the archers is that knockback.
Is the knockback. And with those guys having full knockback resistance, they should just run through these guys.
Yeah, which I think that matches up with what happens in reality, is you can just charge through an archery line and you'll either kill them with your tool or your horse will trample them to death.
Yep.
So, so you're ready. I'll just come charging in.
Yep. And I would say just be ready with your guys selected to retreat them so you don't kill all the archer rangers over here if they win.
Okay. Coming in.
And you'll want to give the command to tell them to go all the way in because these guys are going to start shooting. Yeah. It's like you might have lost 4 or 5 guys. You're going to have to fly up so you're under distraction. You're going to win. You're going to win easily.
Okay. That's not what I was expecting. I lost 30 horses. So really it was just the production last game. That's what I would expect for Lancers to do.
So you lost 30.
I lost 33.
That's right in the range we were talking about.
Yeah. That's good.
That was an easy victory for you. I should have been doing like pole arms. Or Gazer, are you ready to play?
Okay.
Now what I can do is I can destroy my buildings. We can try it with pole arms. Pikes.
Yeah, I just started researching pole arms. It's about a third of the way down already. If you want to kill those guys and get 100 more, I say kill them because they're all weak. And I will try and set up in a different area for those guys. It's 99% complete already, and it's done.
I just got positional data from trains in Minecraft to be sent to a web service over the internet. So
cool.
You got positional data from trains in Minecraft sent to a web service over the internet?
Yes.
That's amazing, Gazer.
Are you using the Google Maps API to display where they are and everything?
That's cool. Exactly what I thought today as well. I was going to make my own map from Google.
Are these mounted entities? They're not called Lancers?
Yes.
I'm just going to kill all of them in the world.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just need to grab stuff and I'll be ready.
Okay, let me click you and tell everybody go there. Hopefully that's
You
close
should
enough.
so be using multi-MC for that, because...
Can't.
No, for
The other one.
immersive railroading, yeah.
Gotcha.
Because I've been freaking changing the mod file. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Anyway.
Where are these archers at that I still have somewhere in the world? Because I'm confused. Must be all the way in the back. Oh. Game thinks I have... Well, no, I do probably have 50 of them now, but... Not enough resources. Oh crap! I can't buy more pikemen.
I'm at over 10k on everything. That's why.
Town halls.
My resource production is higher than yours now.
Just gold. That's the only thing I'm limited on.
Pikemen do take a lot of gold.
And the town halls only make 1 gold per.
In that match that we actually played, I was just constantly placing down farms. Like the research for the pikemen and the staples and the the lancers and the lancers themselves takes so much food, which is good. I liked it. I was enjoying myself. I just wasn't able to defend well. Okay, I think I bought too many now.
I'm gonna save all the train data in its in a cluster of variables. Cluster of variables? Cluster of stuff. Basically taken an address book template and just stripped it away.
Got 100
I'm ready, Tech.
troops. I have 101. I need to kill one guy.
I just unselect one to make sure my group has 100 in it.
Did it put you in spectator gazer?
It did?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep. Immediately as well.
Who is the aggressor here?
Tech.
Okay.
Well, that's what I don't know.
I was just randomly saying this.
Do the pikemen get any advantage from standing still? Do they have a longer reach than the lancers or anything?
Not really. I don't think there's a reach option built into Minecraft.
Well, I would think that the lancers are usually stronger when they're charging. That there's no Minecraft basis for that, but that's how they should play. Most people should charge in with lancers. They would want to be charging.
Yeah, I found that with...
Oh, they're going. My numbers are dropping fast.
Wow. Okay, that was even...
You're gonna win, because...
Even less units lost than... Wait, no. Wrap up, boys. No? You're gonna win.
Barely.
Okay.
I have 18
that's
left.
That's a little closer than the archers, but I kind of like that.
Is that...
I was pulling them back, though, because I thought I had won.
Is it?
Right. Did you... What's the word I want to use? You did kill them all, right? So that
I killed all the previous ones. Those were all fresh.
Okay. Wow. GG. Bouncing's over. We did it.
I'm pretty happy with that. The archers still feel really strong because of how cheap they are, but because you can make a ton of them. But if you can make equivalent numbers of horses, well, that was the thing, is I couldn't make a ton of horses because the buildings themselves cost so much, and the horses cost what's it, 10 wheat? Yeah, they cost 10 wheat each and 6 gold.
But
so
no
the horses are really expensive. So economically, I don't know if we're balanced. Mechanically, we are balanced.
I'll take that. We can always adjust rates, and I've been adjusting cost this week, so maybe I went too aggressive with pikemen's, or not pikemen, the lancers' food. I don't think it was that high before.
Let's see, what are the...
And I did lower the archers' cost because it felt like archers just got stomped on by everything besides minions before we tweaked stuff. So maybe I need to take the archer cost back up to 5 gold as well.
They look only marginally more expensive than minions. When you were building them in our first game, did it really feel like it took more to make archers?
It was just that I had to pay gold, really.
Yeah.
Because our minions are gold free, right? So if you're out of gold, so in the match I was playing with the other guy last night, it was all about being able to queue up like 2 pikemen, 2 armored knights, like 3 minions, then right? So it would constantly give my gold and iron production a chance to produce enough to buy more. Otherwise, I was constantly having to restart my queue over and over again because I didn't have the resources. So by just putting a few regular minions in there, it let my resource generation keep up. If that makes sense. I don't know. Do we want to play a game with Gazer? Or is there something else you want to test first?
It's actually time for dinner. My wife will be home, so I might take a break.
Okay.
I'm done with work for the week, so I'll be back after dinner if you're still going to be streaming.
Probably not unless you eat fast, but I doubt you're going to eat fast.
I will not eat fast.
Yeah.
So I might be done for the night with you.
Okay.
I'll work on the wiki some, because I think we need that wiki for release. So I need to start writing down stuff in the GitHub. Have you started on it at all?
Yeah, I put a few things in there, like selecting things, just to get the concepts down of what it is we need to do. If you think it's ugly formatting or want to rewrite wording and stuff, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's fine. I was gonna try and lean on pictures, like a lot of pictures to show what happens, and that's just kind of cumbersome because you have to figure out what pictures you need and go and get those pictures and make sure that what you're trying to show in it shows exactly what you need to show, and then you need to attach the image, which means you need to host it somewhere.
You can host it on GitHub.
You can?
You can put it as part of your commit. So you can put them on GitHub and just upload them as a regular commit. I would say we just create a wiki folder and put an images subfolder in there or something like that.
So I created a doc folder, and I could create an image folder inside the doc folder.
That works.
And just put stuff in there. Because if we host the images in the GitHub repo, then we can call on them in the wiki.
I believe so.
Okay. And we could call on them from any external website? If you wanted to host it on Project Red Dog or something later on down the road?
Yeah. Well, and we could just rehost them too, if that was the case.
Yeah, we could do that.
I would say, just between us, let's try and make the image names not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because a lot of image programs tend to try to do that. And that's ugly after you get 50 of them. To try to remember what image it is.
I may not be good at strategy games, but I am very organized with files. So we'll and code comments. That's another thing that I try and really nail down. So you guys can play a game. I'll watch while I make burgers.
Okay. Have fun. Enjoy dinner.
Yep, I like it. We're good.
Cool. Now we didn't get to, in that game, play with watchtowers at all. I'm okay with that after last night. I might be happy if I don't see watchtowers for a long time, but at some point we will want to test watchtowers as well, see how many we can get in a normal game. Because it wasn't a fact that he had watchtowers last night that was a pain. It was that he had 10 of them in a few minutes and kept adding them as fast as I could kill them.
So I lied. I'm back. But that's one thing that I did want to bring up is walls seems like it's such a low priority that you can't really get there unless you really turtle and like the other person really turtles. Have you run into it? Like, have you guys been building walls in your matches?
Me, no. I'm more of the, if you do attack early, then they're knocked back on their back foot and can't come at you, right? So that's just my play style in this game right now. If Fiery were playing, he'd be building walls. He likes doing a turtley strategy. There's nothing wrong with
But
that.
can he win building walls?
I don't know. I think Fiery's won a couple matches. They might have
Not
been...
efficient.
Huh?
I don't think it's sufficient.
Yeah, like I think right now you have to kind of rush up to archers or something. Maybe my lancer rush would have worked, but the walls, it seems like it's a nice feature that it's a nice to have thing that you can get later on once you've got your essential research done. If you do that in the beginning, you fail.
That's what. Yeah, that's what. You're just not doing that at the beginning. But what question I thought you were asking was that do you need them to win at all? As in, is it efficient to use it at all? And I meant that later on in the game, when you would actually have researched them after the actual archers and lancers, then it's more beneficial to do what they did last night and just go straight to watchtowers and build them.
Yeah, well, and it's kind of seeming to me, without having played a match where I tried it myself, it's seeming to me like walls are kind of useless now. You need watchtowers, or you just really need to focus the best troops that you can make as quickly as you can make them.
It's going to depend on the game too. So in a 1v1, you are the target guaranteed, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're the only thing sitting in the way of somebody winning. If it was a 4-way match, though, putting walls down is a valid strategy to delay you being a target, right? Because they're hard to go through, and someone else could be a squishier target to take out first. So it gives you an opportunity
on the map as well
to build up your forces behind your walls without being constantly attacked and having to replenish them. So
okay, that makes sense.
I think that's more of the use case for walls. Not that it's the only one, but I think that's a more practical one, I guess.
Yeah, the gameplay is different when you have 4 people versus 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
Like a 1v1, it's pretty tough.
Yeah, and to be honest, in that match we just did, I got into it and forgot to research. And that happens because it seems weird, but it can get intense where it's like you're constantly trying to command your troops around and stuff. I had a different team this time. You ready, Gazer?
Yes.
Okay, now I'm gone.
Okay.
Look good. Good night.
Good night. So Andrew, I don't know if you're still out there. If you are, to answer your question, I will be around on my phone, but I'll probably be headed off to bed shortly after. So if you want to talk voice chat, I probably can't. But if you want to just message me, I'll be around and can message in bed. So for a while till I fall asleep. It takes me a while to get to bed too. Just because this game with Gazer is going to be more than long enough, I think. CZ found the post by Mr. Trump.
What post?
It was a troll comment.
Oh.
And Andrew, yeah, you're welcome to join. I think you have talk power. If you don't and you join, you can't talk. I'll just add you to the powers so you can. I'm at 3 connect though. The only reason I limit this channel at all is for the trolls. Can you talk? Hopefully. Oh, you're super quiet for me. Let me turn you up.
It could be me, I don't know.
Yeah, I've got you 200% now. See how you are.
Am I loud or no?
You're louder, but my music is almost as loud as you. Street music.
Okay.
I seem to have that
Any
problem. I don't notice a difference myself. Hey, let me just turn the music off.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I just turned the gain knob on my microphone a little bit. So, Yeah.
So
I was
this
gonna
is
ask
on
you-
stream, whatever you say, just so you know. So if you're...
I know.
Okay, cool.
I'll just chill here for a second. I forgot what I was gonna ask you something.
Okay.
I was just in the middle of coding, fixing the code with the inventory code in my game.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. Because I've been watching recently a couple of videos on, what is it called? The solid framework or whatever they call it, the solid principles of programming. Do you know what those are?
Couldn't tell you what they were off the top of my head. Nope.
Well, but you've heard of it, as I'm saying.
Maybe a long time ago.
Oh, okay. So you don't. Well, that answers my second question, which is going to be like, do you actually kind of follow that? Because I've been watching it recently, and I watched videos from some guy along a while, like many months ago on it, and the way that this one guy explained it, it was really like confusing, and it was in terms of like Unity, and I didn't really sink in fully because I watched what he was doing, and I was like, what, it looked very bizarre, like how he was explaining it. But then I watched this other guy the other day, explaining it in C#, and I was like, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense. Like what these principles are trying to kind of do to keep you from, making messy code and keeping it maintainable and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I just figured maybe you did it or not. I don't know if you like considered, like, you think to yourself, okay, how do I keep my code from getting messy or anything like that?
I do, but I probably have different rules than other people because I'm mostly self-taught, right? So
Yeah.
that's just from my career path and everything. Like I started when I was 16 learning how to program. So
Yeah.
So my style is probably different than lots of people, and I've had some people watching streams even tonight. They're like, "Oh, that makes me want to cringe what you just did with your code," but it works, right? And it works for me, and I can maintain it, and I'm the only one that has to maintain it. For like a mod, it doesn't matter, right? it makes it readable to me. Now, I don't know what those principles are, but I could take a guess as to what they are. Like writing clean code is better than writing something that's super elegant and super efficient, right? Writing something that you can read in a minute and get what it's about, get what it's doing right away without having to sit there and study it for 30 minutes has a lot of value.
Sort of. One of the things that in one of the videos, because there's like 5, solid is like an acronym, and there's like 5 different principles. And
Okay.
one of them is all about like, don't use enums and switches in a situation where you're using them to add features. You shouldn't use enums to add features. You should use enums to like lay down a fixed amount of like different things.
Yep.
So like if you make a game, say, like, think about, like, I always think about Pokemon, where it's like you can only move in 4 different directions, and you can't add a 5th direction. It's up, down, left, right. And so you could use, or Pac-Man, actually, that's a better example, or just a different example, where you could use an enum to say like move up, down, left, right, or something like that. But if you're making like an enum, say for example, like for like potions or for like applying different effects, you could do that. But the thing is you'd have to have like a switch statement, and then that you have to constantly add more stuff to the switch statement, and it like makes a giant script file, code file, and like
it's going to depend on how you're using those enums though too. So in my mod, I actually use the enum for the number of teams, and I've found a way inside Java to basically say, hey, enum, give me the total number of your values and give me the length of that array that it's returning, right? So that I can get how many there actually are, loop through them, all those different values inside the enum, and process it without having to do a switch, right? So I get the concept, because enums basically means you got to go write a bunch of code versus like an array or something like that that's going to be dynamic and just automatically update for the number of values there are. So I get that. It's a maintainability thing, right? So just because today you think that you only need 4 directions, what happens if down the road you wanted to have an 8-directional one where you could go diagonals? That type of deal.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it's a make the code work for today and make the code work for tomorrow kind of thing, because you're going to have to maintain it. Now, in the case of your game, you might think, okay, I want to make the code run as fast as I can. There's a lot of valid points to that, right? But we're only going to have 4 directions. Well, what happens if down the road somebody requests a feature and you guys love it and you want to make those 8 directions? That's where that type of thing comes in, right? Not saying that that's a truly valid case, because why would you want to go from 4 to 8 directions, right? This probably isn't a perfect world scenario. But that's what that principle sounds like it's about, and that makes sense to me. So I would do something similar, but it's not a hard and fast rule where you never use enums.
Oh
guess
yeah,
so,
he was
so.
saying like you don't necessarily have to do the rules exactly. You just have to consider them. He was saying.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the way with most things in programming. Like, there's always this, here's the best practice, but there's always exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if I even slightly answered what you were trying to ask of me, but
Well, no, I was just originally asking if you knew about the solid principles and like you considered them any bit, because I mean, I've just been like totally like, I mean, I'm finally, I think, and I emphasize think, I think I'm finally getting over this hump, because basically through December, most of December, I have been trying to make these kind of overhauling changes to my inventory code.
Yep.
And it ended up making me like ruin the code. I mean, like at first I was like, okay, this is how I need to make the changes. And then I was like, halfway through, I was thinking to myself, wait, that wouldn't work. And so then I basically had, because I don't do version control, which I probably should, but I just don't, because I don't like have to go into like, I know how version control works. It's just that I don't want to get into it, I guess. I know it'll benefit me. I know that for a fact. And so because I haven't version controlled, now it's like my code is irreversible. Like I can't, like it'd be harder just to go back to put my code back to where it was.
Yep.
So basically over this in December and going into January now, I've been trying to fix my code. And this was me all doing this because of like this one bug with when you hold an item in the that's in the hotbar and you click on it and it swaps, and there's just like this bug that happens. And so this one little bug caused me to like completely ruin my code, and it involved the user interface code in a lot of places. And I don't know, I've been like it really threw me for a curveball, and I was like, my brain has been like fried on code, and I don't know.
So I won't try and sell you on version control, but I will say, for me personally, having something like Git where you can make multiple branches of your code makes it so I feel like I can do whatever I want, because I just spin up a new branch of it as a test thing, do those changes, and when it doesn't break, I'll say break everything, and then whatever I'm trying to do, right, as the name of the branch, because I'm that serious about, if this doesn't work, it's disposable to me.
Yeah.
Right.
See, I do need.
And that's not a source control thing. That's a freedom thing that it gives you, right? Because then you can experiment with what you're trying to do and how you're trying to solve things with little to no consequences of, oh no, now my whole game doesn't work, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I would have definitely benefited from that. I would have immediately went back.
Yeah. And it's literally just in Git, and I know each version control system is different, but it's literally just, okay, I don't want the break everything branch. I want my normal dev branch back, by just selecting it, and you're on your other code. No other changes.
Now, is this something, I'm pretty sure you can, but like you can integrate it into Visual Studio where every time you hit control, like say you do control shift F to save all, does it like, is there a way where I can make it so that it automatically commits or whatever? Or is that not how it works?
There might be, but I would question if you truly want to do that. So
how often do you commit then? That's the question.
like, I'll work on something until I can get basically that feature either done or close enough to where I can compile it and it runs, but it may not have exactly all of the features that I wanted to have in it, right? So maybe
So
I'll
there
need
might
a
still
couple.
be like major bugs, but
Yeah.
once it's in, commit. Okay.
Yeah, because it's kind of like a save point. Like if you're playing a game, right? So I play a game, I beat the level, I would save, or I get a special power up gun, I would save, that type of thing. It's almost
Yeah.
like that. It's not like you have to save when you finish the whole game. It's just where it's convenient to go back to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or in the case of Git, and I know I'm saying that a lot just because that's my favorite one to use right now.
Yeah.
With integration to GitHub, I put the issues on GitHub. You tell it this is to fix XYZ bug number. And then there's a link inside GitHub when I go back to look at that bug to the commits that were referenced by it. So I can say, you know, I think this change that I did 6 months ago that broke something caused this new bug. I can go look at those commits from that bug and see what lines exactly changed because it highlights, green or blue whether it was changed and stuff like that. So it's very, very handy to have in that regard.
And you can, well, minus the one thing I said, like you can, like there's integration for it in Visual Studio, and then like you can somehow use it to commit. Or I would imagine, I thought there was like, I remember seeing it somewhere that you could.
You could, but when you do forget, you need a message to go with the commit. So that's where I'm like, I don't know if it's going to work fully. It might pop up and say, what do you want the message to be?
Okay, yeah.
Because it helps you keep track of what it is you're doing with the code, right? So if you just had all the changes, it's not as handy as this was to add another inventory slot, right? And then you just know when you look into your code that was what it was about, and you can see all the changes that were related to it, to all the files. Because it's not just per file either. You can commit 10 files at once.
Mm-hmm. So you use like a separate program basically that does I would imagine it's called Git, like it's a Git. Is it like it's a command line? I think I've seen before.
Git is a command line, but I use GitHub, which is one of the more popular types of Git, and it has. Okay, so you left. You want me to pause? You might have got disconnected. It's one of the more popular Git clients or Git tools, Git sites, I guess. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
Because it adds all those other integrations. You can have project tracking. So I think you guys use Trello. It has a card system that will relate to your issues. Okay. So if you create an issue, you can add it as a card on the same type of visual diagram that you guys use for Trello. And then you can even automate the cards to where it starts on the left side of the columns of the cards. And as you develop on it or commit it into master, it can automatically close that issue by the commit itself. So you can say fix bug number or issue number 555, right? And then you push that up to GitHub. It references it on the issue, and then when that gets committed into master on the master branch, or pull requested into the master branch, you will see that bug close out automatically, and the card in the card system would then go to the next stage as well. Hey, guys. I did not attack you while you were away.
Goodness. I mean, thank.
Oh, you back. Now I'm attacking.
So
I am
funny.
not attacking. Never mind.
What is it called? I don't know.
Internet died again?
No.
It did.
No idea what happened.
So when you commit, you do it through the big website or?
So I use the GitHub desktop client because I have Windows.
Oh, so it's like a graphical.
Yeah, it makes it way easier than trying to do the command line. There's still times when you have to kick out to the command line if like you have a big team or even two people really working on the project at the same time and you both edit the same file at the same time and then you try and merge them into the same branch. It's going to say merge conflict, you're basically trying to edit something that somebody else has already edited, blah, blah, blah. And then you have to tell it, this is the one that wins of these changes. What it boils down to.
Yeah, maybe that's what I need to do, because I've been avoiding version control. I don't know why. I think it's just because I originally it was very unappealing. The idea of like, oh, I have to have a command line open whenever I code. It's like, why can't I just, it's like I have to have this separate program. But I guess it's very beneficial, and so it's worth it to use. I mean, even the GUI, like the graphical interface, and it's just me coding right now, so
yeah,
it would really be beneficial for me to have an actual user interface for that type of thing.
Yep. And I know, so I don't want to say stuff that you don't want to. Can I talk about your Patreon stuff? Or I'm assuming.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So with your Patreon that you're doing, and I know you're doing builds of the game, right? For your patrons. Yeah. So with that, you could create a branch every time that you release one of those, so that you have your code frozen that goes along with that branch, right? And then you can keep working on things. And the benefit in doing that is, if someone reports an issue to you, you've got a way of going back and seeing what the code was that was tied to that point in time when you released that, right? That way you can say, this was related to this, I've already fixed it. Now, you might have already fixed it and know that, but if you don't have a copy of the code, it's harder to figure it out, right? Yeah. So that type of thing can be beneficial as well. So there's some other features like that would be good. Or further down the road, once you're already on Steam, you might have a branch that's your public release of the game, and then another branch that's like your beta tester branch, right? And you can keep them separate, and then if you need to do a hot fix for the public one without pushing it through beta, you have an option to do that, right? Because you've got two separate branches of the code. That doesn't mean that you have to go back and undo all of those changes you've been working on in your beta.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There is the sales pitch for Git that I wasn't trying to do.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I kind of now, my feelings before this, marketing, non-sponsored marketing strategy, would be that I kind of already liked it, and I've been in this mode where I'm like, I want to do it, but I'm not motivated enough. But I know that, for me to be a better coder, I think GitHub is like the one thing that like I need to get into, because I mean, I myself have been like, I started to actually learn programming. You said 16. I think, well, I was like, I first started to like do it, like learn it, like efficiently in 10th grade. I forget how old I was in 10th grade, but that's when I started. And I feel like I've came a long way, and I feel like, when I have this little screw up with the code here where I start to do something and then I realize, oh, I shouldn't have did that, and I can't go back. It's like, well, maybe I need version control, because I shouldn't be making like mistakes like this that I can't reverse, I guess. Because I would imagine, like, even a professional, someone who's had twice as much experience as I do, they'd probably have an incident like I just did. But the thing is having version control is important for, like, not having, being able to go back to a point where this, where you didn't have the problem or something like that.
Yep.
Like, if I was going into this, I would do like a commit right before I start making these changes, and then when I realize it screws up, then I just go back to that checkpoint right before I do any of that, because the game was literally perfectly fine before I did all this in like early December.
Yep.
And I started to like go full into it, like change the entire class, like multiple script files, and halfway through I'm like, no, I can't do this. This is going to be too complicated. This is going to overcomplicate it. I have to change my strategy. And I remember for like 3 days, I literally would just be sitting in here, just staring at my code, thinking what to do, because I can't go back. And if I would have used version control, I would have probably saved myself 3 days of just sitting here doing nothing. So
Yes, you would have, because you could have gone back, and it's there's a couple ways of doing it too. So the way I've been describing is with different branches, and it's the easiest by far because you have a defined point where you've taken that branch off of your main branch. Let's just call it master because that's what GitHub calls it. But you can branch off of any other branch, so you can have like a full tree concept, right? With branches coming off of branches, branches coming off branches. And I'm gonna get my butt handed to me in this game. Thanks, Gazer. You win, Gazer. There's no coming back at this point. With your masses, I'm screwed. So anyway, the branches are one way. The other way is if you make a commit, you can tell it to revert the commit. Just undo one single commit, or multiple commits if you needed to as well. So you have ways that work with your style. I would say branches are probably the most powerful because you could then merge two branches together if something works. So let's say you have a scenario where I want to work on adding gems to the game, right? You get partway through it, you've been committing to a branch that's just like the gems branch, and you get stuck, but you want to work on the project, right? And you just don't feel motivated to work on the gems branch. You don't have to. You can create another branch off of the master one and start working on a different feature. And if that feature makes it into the master one before gems, you're not out anything. Now,
they just all fell into formation. Sorry, that was cool. Continue.
You're fine, Gazer. When you get to the point where you want to merge everything together, so you've got your master branch, your gem branch, and feature 2 branch. I don't know what I said it was.
Yeah.
You do a pull request and start merging things. You might have merge conflicts with yourself. So let's say you oh god, those are your units, not mine. I wasn't paying attention. No, I ran right to them. It doesn't matter, I guess. Let's say you're adding items, right, for both of those. So the gem and then, I don't know, like a new weapon. And you have some master database or some master file that contains all your item IDs, let's say. So both branches would have touched that master list of what all the item IDs are, right? Yeah. So that's where you'll get a merge conflict type of scenario where it says, 2 people will change this, or 2 different commits branches change this. What do you want to do? So that's where you might have to go and say, okay, the gem, instead of both gem and the weapon being ID 3, I'm going to make gem number 3 and the other one 2, right? And then you're good to go. So there's no... It's not 100% seamless is what I'm trying to say.
Can we end it? Oh, damn it.
You're still going to end it. They're close enough. If you gave them the command to move over to that farm...
No.
Oh. Well, I can TP you.
Oh, okay, fine.
There you go.
Right.
Look at that lightning right here. Why can't the lightning strike your guys, huh?
Yeah, I was wondering that, if it was going to be strategic lightning.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, so if there's like merging conflicts, then you have to like go in, you have to look at the what the changes are. Like it'll show you the reds and the greens and the reds and the greens, and you have to change what's in the reds and the greens, like whatever is highlighted.
So on GitHub, what it does is it shows you the combined file of both changes.
Everything died.
And with a comment, it'll outline saying that this one was from the gem branch and this one was from the weapon edition branch. So that you can see where the changes even came from, right?
Oh, and then you could pick one or the other.
Then you could pick one or the other, or both if it makes sense to have both. And that's why it can't automatically resolve those, right?
Okay.
And that's where you if you write your code in a way that it's intelligent, it makes it a little easier for you too. So instead of having hard-coded IDs, if you just said add gems as ID integer, right? And then you increase the integer by 1 right after that, and then added the next item, it's kind of automatic for you, right? It doesn't matter what the actual ID is. It's just, it'll change it, of course, if that matters to your game overall, but more than likely it probably doesn't if you've done it right. So things like that.
What was I gonna say?
There's that beautiful formations.
Maybe you need like different formation shapes, maybe, and some of them are better than others.
Yeah, I know. So formations in the mod were one of the things where I thought it was going to be the thing that was going to stop me from making this mod. Like, I thought it was going to be that difficult to do. But it worked, so...
Well, I'd imagine it's just like you find an origin point, and then you basically tell each of them to stand in a certain like grid position or offset from that spot for each one.
Yeah, you're pretty close. So it finds the center line, which is where you click, so it's obvious where it is. And then the first guy goes to that center point. The next guy goes to the left of him. The next guy after that goes to the right of the first guy, and so on, right? Until it gets 9 wide. Then it starts sending people in the back. The next line back, and it's also got set up so like if you have an even number of troops, the even guy, the last guy, goes 1 row back, so it'll form like a T basically.
Right.
Okay, so my troops were able to take out your diamond mine, but they didn't get any. Well, diamond and stones, a few stone, so, but they didn't get any further than that.
Maybe what you could do is you could have like if you can control the length of each you probably know what I'm about to say, the length of each row, and then in that like one middle spot where it's a choke point, you can have like a wall of your characters, and then just have them like stand there, and they would not move, and they would just stay in one place, and if anyone tried to attack them, they would just stay there like a wall, like a meat wall.
Yeah.
And they'd be like a defensive wall, basically. Have something like that where you can change the shape of your formation to like fit certain scenarios. And then maybe, I don't know, for like if you wanted to take like a stab approach, you can get them all to a very thin formation, and then have them all like go in like a two row, like kind of a jab, one after the other.
Yeah. So the way the formation works, it also considers the direction you're facing. So if you
Right.
face to the east, the line's going to start, facing towards the east 9 wide, and then go back towards the west from there, as far back as it needs to go. So if you wanted to face it the other direction, rotate the whole formation, you just turn your body and click, and they will rotate 90 degrees. So if you wanted to fill in a choke point, rotate 90 degrees, tell them to form up. You've got to fill. Yeah. Now, you can't change the width, though. That's the one thing you can't do. And I haven't found a good way of allowing the player to set what that is quickly, right? I get that I could open up a menu and you could click a button or something, but that's not quick when you're trying to scramble as there's 200 guys coming at you.
Yeah.
So, Gazer, one thing that kind of came up earlier, and I'll ask your opinion here, as you have a massive horde of army running around. Would there be a benefit?
Hit the unicap. Yep.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. Of
Sorry.
course you have. How many barracks do you have, by the way? Because I thought I had a lot.
4, 5, 6,
You had them
7,
running
8,
longer, I
9,
guess.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14? 14?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So the question is, should there be a way of selecting your troops like we have now, right? And once you have them selected, pushing a hotkey that basically just only selects half of them randomly.
Yeah, switch them in half. Yeah, I thought you were going to say that. I think I've suggested it as well. So
You think it's a good thing then?
that's what I did, but I did it manually. For a section, I did it for attacking your side position. I only took some units, so that's exactly what I did. I took from my main and I grabbed only a little bit of them.
Gotcha.
But I did that visually by how much I wanted to grab. I only wanted to grab like a fifth. It wasn't something. It wasn't a half. Obviously, you can keep on pressing a half, I guess, and you get down to a smaller number.
True. The thing is, I'm not sure what order it would do based on your formation, right? So if your formation starts with a guy in the front and goes back 10 rows because you have 100 guys,
or just half, as in for one alternating. So you would get just holes in your formation.
I don't know if I can do that though, because I don't know if the order of the list would be the same as it was the first time around when you selected everything and they went into that formation. So I'm saying I don't know if it gets changed.
Ooh, look at that lag, telling them to select position.
Really?
Is it because they're going to go on the wall?
No, that should be fixed. Like if you
just
told
a little
them,
bit of lag.
If you told them to form up with their formation facing away from this mountain, right here,
Facing
away.
from this.
So you
here.
face away and tell them to go right here. Watch what happens.
So that way.
No, look
Or
away
into
from the mountain.
mountain.
Yeah, so they're all trying to be in the mountain.
Holy
basically.
crap! Okay.
Watch what they'll do though.
Ah, yeah. They'll just give up, hopefully, right? That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, they'll go like 5 blocks up the mountain or something like that, 5 or 6. And once they get to the point where they're like, I can't get to where I'm going, they're just going to stop.
Oh, look at that stream. So beautiful. Look at them. They're going back around in circles.
I don't know why they're falling off. That's kind of stupid
They're doing
of them.
circles. They're doing circles.
Okay, this is a bad example because of the circle glitch thing.
Okay,
Okay,
but,
now they're doing it.
They've gone there. Yeah.
Yeah, so they won't try and form actual all the way up the mountainside kind of thing. And they also
And now
won't try and be walking into the mountain. So there's no lag.
Yeah.
They're all stopped.
All good.
What's that, 600 troops?
558. So pretty
Okay,
close.
close enough.
Eh.
You also had pikemen. That's probably why you owned me. I didn't even have pikemen.
Yeah.
My research was...
Yeah.
So...
They're trying to move right now.
Where are they trying to move to?
Just in the center. Across the center.
Hmm.
From here. I did about here.
Why are they going so slow right now? That's a new one.
Don't know. Oop. A little bit faster.
The heck?
No.
What'd you do, Gazer?
Maybe I clicked multiple times.
Even
I
if
didn't
you
know if it
did,
was
they should
working
only
first time.
calculate their path once. Huh.
Hmm.
It's going to take off in a second, I have a feeling.
One can only hope. It's half now, so
Yep, all of a sudden
it's
there.
getting better. There you go.
It might have been that train was that rough.
Guess so.
Huh.
Ooh, done it again, just over here. Just to have a look.
Like the initial formation might have a little bit of lag, 'cause it is trying to calculate
it's already
500
pretty-
spots.
Yeah, it is. But it's already much better than what it was.
It might have been
I suppose
because
half of the mountain.
So I was looking at it from the standpoint of you're on the ground, the train goes up. We need to allow them to go up the train, not go down the train if the train goes down. So maybe that's what it is, because there's some lower spots here. Like if you where exactly did you click? Like it was on this end, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it has to be right here, right in the center of it.
Yeah.
So that's that height. What is that height? Oh, F3.
It's probably not that far from any of them, and they can
67.
all reach their position. So
But can they reach their position vertically?
Yeah.
68.
all of them.
This is 67.
So when the pathfinding has to go, when there's a lot of verticality, it makes the pathfinding system slow down. Is it like more CPU intensive?
So it's not the verticality, it's when they can't reach the destination. And if the terrain is varied in height, my
see what you mean.
formation code basically originally said wherever the player clicks, keep that Y height forever, right? All the way back as far as the formation needs to go. So that made it inefficient when there was, say, trying to set a formation here and the rest of the formation goes up the hill, right? Because it's trying to go inside the mountain. Now we've got an opposite scenario where if he tries to build a formation floating over this, where it's up high, and some of the formation needs to go down in that hole, they can't get to the formation that's basically in the air, because I didn't look at it from the does the train go down perspective, only that it goes up.
Right.
So Gazer, if you did the same thing here and set the formation here going
I've
back,
just done that. Oh, backwards. Okay.
so it goes
onto the
up
mountain.
over the train and there's nothing lower than where you're clicking, Does it cause lag?
Yeah, I'll have a look.
There's something about the way Minecraft's AI, at least the way I've hooked into it, where if it can't get where it's trying to go, it laggy. It very laggy.
I'd imagine they use like A star or something. I don't know.
It's their own implementation of it, I think.
Yeah. What are you? So you're using? Well, I imagine you'd have to, but so you're using like the latest version of the Java runtime.
Java 8, I believe it is. I don't know what the
Okay.
latest is. There might be 9 now.
Me neither.
It's
'Cause-
just that's because that's what Minecraft uses.
Well, yeah, and that's is that the latest version of Minecraft? I guess or
No, so it's one version back. It was the latest version of modded Minecraft for Forge when I started the project, but like in
Okay.
December, late December, they released the next version of it. So
all right.
Yeah, I think it's the same. As in, I don't think the downhill is an issue.
Hmm.
Like they'll fall off a ledge to go and down to a smaller point.
Right, but if they fall off the ledge and there's spots above them, they can't get to it. So they're gonna sit there and try to get to
But
it.
then it'll be the same issue, right? As in, it will try 5 times or whatever, and then
Yeah, it
give up.
should give up once their X and Z coordinate doesn't change for so long. I
Yeah,
just told it to
so-
give up basically.
So that means in any situation they'll give up. That is good.
Yes.
So yeah,
Except for the initial calculations trying to get to somewhere
See.
it can't go.
they just reversed their entire formation.
Mhm.
That was funny to watch. That's fun.
It used to be before I turned off bumping and everything that you could have them go in formation and walk between the lines, and they would slightly adjust out of your way. Right, so you can run down them again a couple more times, and like they would be almost on top of each other, but there'd be a big gap between them. But
Hmm.
since I made it so they're equivalent to no clip for everything else in the world besides blocked, doesn't happen.
Oh, that should be a config thing. Although TBS would be hit, but what
Yeah.
that was kind of fun having a bit of conflict too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there any other issues, or are we just gonna save it?
That's probably all for tonight. Like, I need to fix, and it's just not in yet. When someone wins, I wanted it to give like a minute period where everybody's in
Yeah.
spectator, and then after that minute, it restarts the server for you if the config option's on. So
It could just wait for a stop all after, in the chat from anyone, because you don't want a button, obviously. But
yeah, it still need to be config driven though, because I don't want somebody that doesn't want their server to restart to
Yeah,
automatically
exactly,
restart it
yeah.
for them.
so either it waits for a stop all, or it doesn't.
Then I'd have to do commands, Gazer. For now, for release,
Anyway,
it's going to be
yeah.
the automatic thing. Maybe in a
Automatic,
future
yeah.
release.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. That's fine.
Trying to stop scope creep.
Sometimes it's just you do want to see.
Yeah. Like for debugging, it was nice to not have it automatically restart, so we could figure out what's going on and stuff like that.
Unlike this, you already have troops amassed, so you can do some stuff. Yeah, debugging, as you said.
Yep.
Cool.
And that's why it's a config option, because those people that maybe us don't want it to automatically restart can allow that.
They're trying to go up the mountain, so
Yeah, but still, they're not that laggy on flat land, though, right?
nowhere near. But it's already cleared up.
Right.
It's not a problem, Tech. Well, it is a problem when you've got 4 different players on a large map like the other positive.
And they're all commanding troops at the exact same time.
Yeah, we need to look into playtesting larger things.
Yeah, I was trying to do this one for the balancing, because it made the most sense.
Of course.
Here we go.
Non-issue there. well, not an issue in playtesting that.
Okay, well, I'm probably gonna kill the stream here, guys. Goodbye, everybody. Catch you tomorrow, I guess.